Good morning, class. Today is Thursday, and all week we've been studying the chapter in the resource guide, Discover Canada, as you prepare to write your citizenship test. We've been doing the chapter on Canadian symbols, pages 38 to 41. And today we're going to finish that chapter on page 41, learning about national public holidays and other important dates. So the first part of the chapter was on prominent symbols in our country. So we talked about, of course, the national flag, the national anthem, the beaver, which is an animal that has been a symbol since long ago when the Hudson Bay Company, again, adopted by other groups in the 1800s. And so your posters that you use to depict those symbols are displayed over here on the side wall, and we'll be able to use those to reference and to refresh our memories as we continue to prepare for the test. So today we're going to look at 14 particular holidays. These are the only ones you need to know for the test. And you just need to know their name and the date they fall on. But to help reinforce that, I thought it would be a nice exercise to go through and get a description and why they became a holiday to help reinforce those dates in your mind for the test. So before we start, we're all here from different countries, and I thought it would be nice to share a couple of holidays in your country. So Samuel, would you care to share a date or special date or holiday from your country? So you have a historic day, and that's held in the month of June. And what types of activities would take place on that day? Also parades, family gatherings, and our schools and businesses closed so everyone gets to join in the celebrations. So that's a lot like our July 1st Canada Day, very similar. Anybody else? Alex. So you have the Chinese New Year, and that's after our Canadian New Year. And what types of things would you do on your Chinese New Year? Lots of food and parades and music. So you see, I'm sure, we could go on and talk about many more types of holidays, but for the most part around the world, countries celebrate different events and times in their history. And so what we're going to do is we're going to work in groups of 3. We're going to do work together, and what we're going to do is, no, Heather, we're not going to work in the groups we have all week. I think what we'll do is we'll just count off 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 until we go through the group, and all the ones will be one group, 2's another, and 3's another group. I'd like you to work with someone different than we have for the first of the week. And Helen, once everyone's counted themselves off and got in their groups, would you take these cards and pass out to each group? On each card, there's 4 holidays with their dates, and each group is going to look up those 4 dates. So I want you to, for example, Christmas Day may be one, and I want you to find out just in real basic terms, what is Christmas Day? How did it happen? I want you to paraphrase it or write it in short sentences. No more than 3 sentences, just very briefly to describe it. Remember, I want you to write it in the past tense because we're talking about something that was designated before now, right? So past tense is something happened before now, and these dates have all been designated before now. So when you're referring to them, I want you to use the simple past. And so what we're going to do is just pull up an example up here on the whiteboard so that you'll refresh your memory. We've worked in simple past, but there's 2 sentences up there. The Hudson Bay Company was designated the beaver as a symbol. So how do we know that's written in simple past? Arthur. Yes, designated is the verb. It has ed, and it was in the past, before now. And we have another sentence. St. John Baptist Society adopted the beaver in 1834. And yes, The word adopted is the verb written in the past tense. They did it back in 1834, so they did it before now. So as you go through and write it, work as a group, and if you have any questions, just call out and I'll help you. And just a quick note is I see everyone writing quick notes. There's no need to write notes. You'll see over here on this whiteboard step-by-step instructions for this class assignment. And then underneath that will be any homework that is being given out. So don't worry about taking notes. Let's just follow through and I'll give you a general description, okay? So you're in your groups. You're going to look up together 4 holidays. You're going to write a brief description and find a graphic to depict it, okay? And as you're doing the research, if you come across a word that you're not sure of, I'd like you to use the new app that I introduced earlier this week. It's on your laptop, Dictionary it's called, or I'm going to put it up right here, and you'll see you can do it through the web as well. So your laptop or your tablet, either way, whichever you prefer. It's dictionary.com. And so in this white space up here, let me type in the word sovereign. And as the word sovereign comes up, you'll see the definition. And you remember beside the word that you're researching, see the little speaker symbol? If you click on that speaker, they will pronounce the word for you, so you'll know that you're saying it correctly. Okay, so as you're doing your research, I want you to use that if you're not sure of any words as it explains or defines your information that you're researching. Okay, so now I want you to take, before you start doing the research in your groups, I want you to go into your laptop in the folder for this chapter, the Canadian symbols. You'll see a file there and it's called Interactive Calendar. I want you to bring that calendar up. Okay, and you'll see January is the 1st. So we're going to enter this together because you're going to do this for your 4 that you research as a group. But let's start off at January the 1st. Click underneath the 1, and I want you to type New Year's Day in there. Okay, and then if you scroll down, you'll see that I have a brief description of what January 1st is the first day of a new year, and it was on the Gregorian calendar that was established back in the 1500s. And it's been declared a national holiday and often celebrated with fireworks, and you see my graphic is fireworks. So I want you to do that for each of the 4 holidays that you have been designated. And I want you to do it each on your laptop, even though you've got the information as a group, because I want you to build your own personal calendar that you can reference later for studying as you prepare for your test. Okay? So as you work in your groups, get your definitions and graphics ready, write in the past tense. Each of you fill out your interactive calendars. Include the 2 that I just did for you. And then what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to each present our 4 holidays. And as you present the holidays, the groups will enter them into their own personal interactive calendar, but we'll also do our big master up on the board. So we'll do that exercise together. We'll populate our calendars. And at the end of the class tomorrow, as we conclude the week's exercises and reviews, you'll have your own calendar for future studies. Any questions? Clarifications? Yes, Heather. That's correct. Even though you work as a group, I don't want a group calendar. I want you each to do your own calendar. And you can help each other. I'm going to walk around the room. If there's any questions, I'll be available to help you. So remember, you're going to use dictionary.com to help with definitions and pronunciation, and use your interactive calendar. Okay, no more questions? Then Helen, please pass out those cards, and can we get started as a class? And I'll just walk around, help each of you if you need any help.